Okay.
Hey everybody! We're back with another episode of Who's That Anime with your host Steve and Colin. We're talking about Trigun still. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we did one of these, so we're doing this one right now, live
Yep.
on the day. Uh,
Yeah.
so so the video will be up uh in a couple of days.
Later. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Um. So yeah. Uh. Episode 7 of Trigun Stampede. We're now on the latter half of the show. You see,
Well, we are.
of the 12 episodes, we're in the back. We're in the back 9.
Not
Back 6. Um.
not this again.
No. I'll stop. But this episode is called Wolfwood, and we left off in episode 6, where Wolfwood and Vash were being attacked by an old, sort of friend of Wolfwood's, called Livio, aboard a sand steamer, which was heading to July at one point, but has now since been exploded enough to a degree that it's now in a direct collision course with an orphanage we just found out about in the last episode too.
Yeah, Wolford's old orphanage.
Yeah. How fortuitous.
Hmm.
So yeah, now the sand steamer is heading directly for the orphanage, and it has just been boarded by the Bad Lads gang, is where we left off. And Livio was still up and at him in terms of his attitude, as it were.
Quite livid, I feel.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. He
Livio,
was.
livid.
So this episode starts off with quite a lot of close range firefighting, which is kind of cool.
Hmm.
Lots of Livio and Wolfwood shooting each other and hitting each other at close range, rebounding bullets off of their own weapons and things. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Do they meet? Do they find What's her name?
Oh, Meryl and Roberto?
Yeah. Did they find them? Because they came up with the Badland gang as like
They did.
reporters, taking
They didn't. They don't find them until Vash finds them when he leaves Wolfwood and Livio fighting. Just in this, I think it's just in the next bit where basically like I think like Livio and Wolfwood are shooting the shit out of each other. Livio is just regenerating because that's what he does. Wolfwood is biting more of those glass vials full of the regeneration juice or whatever
magic
it is he's got in there.
magic juice.
Is mad juice. And then what's happened is Vash takes the initiative and heads down into the sand steamer to leave Wolfwood and Livio to their personal business, as it were.
Because he has to
And
deal with the
he,
mad lads.
yeah, well, they're, it turns out, sort of kind of ineffectual in general. They don't really care. They're not really actually up to much. And they kind of don't really, they're like, Roberto and Meryl are both there, and they're like, just get out of our faces. It's fine. Whatever.
No,
We're not going
no,
to hurt you.
they're there because they're doing article on them and getting
Oh, of
data
course.
because
But still,
there's a scene.
ineffectual bad lads gang.
There's a scene like you say, Vash kind of runs away. I think Wilfred tells, "Great, you go and deal with the bad
Tells
lads."
him to get lost. Yeah,
Yeah,
he tells him to get lost
I
constantly. Actually, for the first 5 minutes of this episode, he's
yeah,
like, "Please, would you fuck off?
yeah,
This is my problem to deal with."
yeah,
Because I think it seems at this point he's decided that it's really Livio is his responsibility essentially. So
yeah. Well, after the last episode's backstory. Anyway, yeah.
yes,
So Vash just run off, and then next thing I think you see is like Meryl and Roberto is like in a corridor with a bunch of bad lad guys. Oh yeah, yeah, get my good side. Well yeah, if you don't I'll kill you. And they're like, oh, all right.
oh
And then
god,
he's only taken and then like there's like a trio of bad lad guys going like this, like that. And they're all
all
posing for
hitting
the
their
camera.
poses.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
and you can't
Voguing it
even.
up.
Uh, they're all wearing like big heavy masks, so you don't even know who they are.
And
Oh,
then,
oh, wasn't all like you can't see my eyes. You're not getting the
yes, you're
or
right. They're
something.
making odd complaints for people that are covering up their entire faces, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Uh,
Oh, get the light in my eyes, and oh, that's the wrong side of my face and stuff.
but they soon kind of panic a little bit as they start to see a lot of other Bad Lads gang members just being thrown into the ceiling and smashed all over the place.
Yeah,
And it turns out that Vash is on his way, and those three try to run in to help. And Vash is like, "Well, sorry guys, gonna have to knock you out."
yeah,
He's not killing any of them. He's just hitting them really, really, really hard in the face with his gun
yeah.
and
He
his
likes doing that.
fists.
Yeah,
He does. He does.
it's like
And this
Batman.
is where he meets up with. You're right. Yeah, he's absolutely not beating these people within an inch of their life to like this within certainty of death. They're so close
Did you?
and yet so far.
It was like a college humor series videos like years ago. I think called Bad Man, and it was like it was the same guy who did the Street Fighter skits.
Oh, okay.
And it did Batman, and it was like basically just Batman, and he was doing it to like I think what came out about the same time as like the Dark Knight trilogy. So he,
Was the Street Fighter ones not the ones with the sort of vaguely racist commentary where like
Mhm.
Dalsim was a taxi driver and stuff like that?
Yes, but
Yeah.
then
Okay.
Street
I
Fighter
remember
is
those.
vaguely racist in its own self. Talking about Street Fighter,
Hey,
Street Fighter Six
Street
looking
Fighter
good,
6
man.
looks real fucking good.
It's a demo out as well. I've
Oh, I
on
didn't
the
know that.
PlayStation and coming to Steam, I think soon.
Need to give that a bash.
Yeah, get your full customization and stuff in there. Anyway, we're not talking about that. Talk about
No.
Trigun. Uh, but I wanted the Batman thing. There's a bit where he's he's in like a fridge and it's like might be the penguin caught. Like he's fighting and he has the penguin beaten, and Commissioner Gordon comes in and he's like blah 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 blah. I don't believe in deadly violence and all that. And he's like just getting like these the spikes in his arm and just like stabbing him straight into the throat of like the bad guys that's coming in. And then they're like, but what do you call that? Oh, he's just sleeping. He's just taking a big.
Yeah.
What did Alfred tell you when your parents died? Oh, they're just in a very deep sleep and stuff like that. And then he goes. I think they end the skit by saying, "Oh, I don't actually use I don't use I only use hand to hand combat." But then one of
Yeah.
the guys drops a gun, like a M15 or something, and he just like it's like what the hell? And you're
Is
arresting,
that
and
no, go on.
he goes, and you're arresting me. He's and then Commissioner Gordon's like, yeah, maybe I should change my allegiances here.
I think that's the same skit series where Batman like keeps trying to disappear
Yeah,
and Commissioner Gordon's talking to him and he just keeps like catching him just before he's disappeared.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
that is pretty good. That's pretty good.
It does that one. And there's one where it's obviously the Batman Superman maybe is getting announced. So like Superman comes in and basically goes, "Oh, hey, thanks for meeting me, Batman. I want to discuss things with you." And he's like, "No, no, what? Why?
Batman to
You
know.
you don't totally need me." And then Commissioner Gordon appears and is like, "Yeah, yeah. Why do you need him? You can literally like do all this other amazing shit, and all I got, I'm just doing this."
He's just rich.
Yeah. Uh, um,
Classic.
they're good ones. Oh, it's a Riddle me this. He meets the Riddler, and it's basically
It's-
the riddle is something about bullets, but he was like, "Oh, it's a helicopter," and then he phones at Alfred and goes, "This is the riddle," and Alfred goes, "A helicopter," and Riddler's no. fucking bullets. I'll riddle you with this.
I haven't
And then
watched those for years.
they're funny. Anyway, so yeah, deadly, non-deadly force apparently,
Yes,
and then he meets up with
very much so.
Miley Cyrus and Roberto. What's her name? Millie? No, not Millie.
Meryl. Millie's the other one from the
Jesus,
previous series.
how? Why do I always think of
I mean,
Millie?
they're very similar names.
I mean, they are, but at the same time, like s- got like a plot, and the other one is like not even a concept in this.
I- Yeah, I mean, also to be fair, they are two completely distinct names, but they do both have the same number of syllables and begin with an M.
Yeah, that's true. I'm good with names. It is well known.
That is something I know about you.
Now, what's it start
Um,
with? An M. Oh, it's Michael. No, and Millie. um,
he basically rescues them both from their fate of doing a documentary about the bad lads, who now I think make one final appearance, which is you see them abandoning the ship at some point. I don't really think there's much else of them doing anything.
start like carnage in the thing. Yeah, so they have a wee conversation in the corridor. It's like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, yeah, we're covering the Badlands, guys. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
cool, that's nice. And then it beats up the other dudes, and then is at this point where what's his name, blue haired dude, Summers. Uh, is he like this isn't happening quick
Oh
enough.
no, I we need Vash takes Roberto and Meryl back up to the deck, and then Vash gets in on the fight with Livio,
Mhm.
and it's Livio, it's Vash and Wolfwood both taking him on, and he's encouraging Wolfwood to try and reach out to him, find some way to make him remember. Uh, I like I kind of got this where I was like, oh yeah, make him try and remember the past, and then
Mhm.
it, like, oh, he's like remember, and then he does remember, and what he does remember is all the people he's murdered, all the terrible things he's done. It's like that's not. I don't think that's what he meant you to remember. Maybe he meant like remember when you were kids or something. I don't think it meant remember the bloodshed, remember all the unnecessary death that's in your hands. Um, oh yeah, I do. Livio is not particularly happy about remembering all that horrible stuff.
No, no, he wasn't. He wasn't. I can't remember what actually happens. He kind of like
It-
his
It's just
his
like loads of
eyepiece
flat. Yeah, it kind of like decolorizes and
falls
it,
off or something.
it sparks and flashes like it's kind of not the way it was anyway. He's different now,
Mhm.
and all because he's like I say, he's basically remembered him slaughtering a bunch of people and being a goddamn terrible person. Um, and he's like, oh, and he wakes up and he's, of course, his whole thing is that he's been trying to kill the ones that hurt him, and to his mind, whatever reason, that's Vash, that's Wolfwood, and he's pointing the guns at both of them, threatening them. Um, Before eventually turning his weapon on himself and just going, "Well, I'm out," and just blowing his brains out.
Shoots his head out. Yeah,
It's rough.
yeah. But maybe he knew that's the only way he could stop it because he was
I guess.
controlled by the psychic dude,
Oh, oh, Legato.
Legato. That's it. Legato
He's
Summers.
Legato Blue Summers in this. I think his name is
Oh, Blue Summers. Is that just
Blue
because he's got
Summers.
such an
Blue.
emo dick?
He is a total ass. But like, I think it's interesting because like it was a little bit of an abrupt end to the whole Livio thing. But I guess like I say end in quotations because it maybe hasn't ended yet.
Mhm.
Uh, but you know, as to turn of events that will happen. But obviously, I think this is the part where you're talking about where Legato is like, "Oh God damn it, this is not how this is supposed to happen," because he basically sees Livio's body like fall overboard. He's like,
Yeah,
I gotta do stuff now."
yeah,
And instead of just not quite content with driving the sand steamer full speed into the orphanage, he's like, what if, and like, listen to me here, we just powered up a massive ion cannon that for some reason the transport ship has, which I think they explain away as that because it's all made of like spaceship parts,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Uh,
I think it's down to
but
that.
yeah, so it's got a cannon because of that, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it's got a cannon. So now the cannon's up, and also it's got to twirl around. That seems like a very terrible design for like a big weapon on a thing.
Yeah. So I think initially like he and Vash are underneath it trying to just push push the problem away.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, sort of. No, I think that's
He's
just
calling him
that's
he's calling him Pinhead and Needle Noggin quite a lot while
yeah.
doing
Well,
this.
that's kind of what he calls
He
them.
does.
So then, what's his name? Roberto basically says, "I thought we told him not going to get into any danger," and Merrill kind of like gives him puppy dog eyes. Oh, that's what I want to do. It's like, oh,
What if I want danger? What if I want to die?
yeah,
Because uh yeah, I think that's what happens is like eventually after like trying to stop it manually, like, they split up and it's Wolfwood, and is it Vash and Wolfwood and Meryl
hmm
all
yeah.
go
So
down to like the is it the engine room?
yeah, because Vash goes, "Oh, I know this, and we need to go and get to the like plant room and stuff."
Yeah, they split up because Wolfwood goes to the engine room and Meryl is left with Roberto in the control room.
Yeah, because
Um,
they go to the control room where they control it, and the controls are not working. So then
yes,
Wolfwood, I think, lines up to where the cannon is, and it's going to spin around, and
yep,
Vash goes into it's like a crane or something, and like uses the cranes that they use to load the steamer with to try and like
yes,
hold it down. And everyone in the orphanage is panicking and stuff because they know that it's coming to them now.
yeah,
Uh, and then so the gun then starts flipping over, and then
yes.
I think they're both at the front, and then it starts to power up. And I think Vash had a thing. He says, right, when it powers up, you need to then fire it before.
Did we not get the bit with Vash in the chamber, the plant chamber?
He does have a bit of it, but isn't that like him? He goes there to stop, powers down the thing so it doesn't actually crash into anything.
I think you know what, you might be right. I'm
I
trying to
think that's
remember
the
like
end.
the sequence of events there, but like yeah, basically the massive like anchor things like swirl around the cannon barrel and kind of rip it upward. And fortune, I think there's also a bit I think we've missed out where like Vash shoots one of those bugs in the air,
Oh,
and
that's
Zazi's like, "Oh, my camera,"
yeah,
and then uh, Legato's like, "Well, you better put another one in there," and Zazie just vomits a bug and goes, "Oh, there you go, more
yeah.
cameras."
She has the ability to vomit bugs, man.
Yeah, it's something.
Um, crazy magic juice that she got fed.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that thing is ripped into the air, and Wolfwood is
Well,
helping force it in the direction, from what I remember.
yeah, it's spinning around. So it's pointing backwards,
Yes,
and then they were doing a big turn over it, and everyone's abandoning ship at this point because they're going to
yes.
crash. Um, Except them. I think Roberto might abandon the ship, didn't he?
I don't remember what happened to Roberto.
He
I no,
had
he
he
stays
had
on board. He stays on board
does he?
because they all run in on Vash at the end.
All right. I remember him having like a stern talk with her. I was like, ah, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, he's still very truthful. He did not want to be doing this.
Yeah, good old grumpy old man. Anyway,
Yeah,
so yeah, so they're doing that. Things getting flipped around, and then I think they fire a shot.
they fire it as it's flipping, and it
Yeah,
kind of shoots off into the distance forever and burns out.
does not hit the moon or something.
Oh, maybe.
Because back in the original series, the reason Vash got so much
Yeah,
insurance on it is because he had like a big gun formed in his arm by
it
his brother,
destroyed part of the moon.
hit the moon, and he was
Yeah.
ever known as Vash the Stampede slash
Oops.
Human Typhoon. And I wonder if that's part of it. 'Cause what happens just to kind of gel up with that cow thing?
Yeah,
It
that would
wasn't
make sense.
wasn't his arm. It was a big fucking iron gun.
It was an enormous sand steamer cannon.
Yeah.
Um, of course, after that happens, Legato and Zazie are like, "Well, this has all gone to shit." Uh, and I think we see them picking up Livio's body and abandoning ship.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah. Uh,
So it's he may have shot himself in the head. However, he may not be dead. So
yeah, maybe not be. Um,
could be interesting.
yeah, and then yeah, Vash has a wee talk with the plant on the ship.
This is a really cool scene actually. Because obviously as he walks in, it's as we've always seen it, that kind of like blue plant bud looking thing. And
Mm.
I like the way this is shot because he sort of kneels down in front of it and the camera is slightly angled at him as he puts his hands up and his head on the glass.
Mhm.
Um, and just to see like another hand go against his hand and then another hand, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think I think they did something similar in one of the episodes in the old thing. Well,
See. I don't remember
there
there
was
being any level of prominence around that until it was found out that he was a plant,
yeah, I think there
and
was
that's like
certain.
in the second last or last episode.
Oh, that was about halfway through, sure. But
Was it? I don't think so.
yeah, because they had a big like um origin story for him in that, and that's where you kind of find out. But I think there was I think in one of the episodes there's one where the plant was going faulty. I would take out the city or something. So you went in and,
Yeah.
and calmed it down. And I'm sure there was like a scene of him putting the hand in the glass. You know, like a reference to Star Trek 2, Wrath of
Oh,
Khan.
yeah. Kirk and Spock.
Kirk and Spock on in the radioactive room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a valid point. But
Or
yeah, as he's communing with the plant and calming the plant down. We should also mention that that I think him calming the plant down is stopping the motion of the sand steamer.
yeah, he could he uh, takes the power away
Yeah,
essentially.
and eventually, as we see it from above, the sand steamer gets very close to the edge of the orphanage and stops.
Yeah, as they always do in these
Yeah.
disaster movies. And then I think that's it. I can't think of anything else.
No, well, I think it's as you mentioned, like Wolfwood, Merrill, and Roberto. all find him there and see him with the plant,
Yeah.
which I guess is probably many a person, like very few people have ever seen, I imagine, a plant in that state.
Yes. Or have they? Dum
Well,
dum dum.
good question.
Not
Good
forwarding
question.
for the next episode.
No,
No.
it is interesting. I like the idea for sure. And yeah, this leads on to the next episode quite nicely, I think. Um,
Yeah,
w-
it ends this one, that's for sure. And it
yeah,
gives you like, oh, what's happening next episode?
for sure. How do you rate this one then?
Well, going to the fact that I watched this like 2 weeks ago,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
and I don't remember much of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and I was going to see the Badland guys because they were kind of cool and original. They had some some nice like honorable bad guy type hoodlums type
Yeah.
thing, but he wasn't brought back. Uh,
No.
there was a funny moment with where Meryl and Roberto is. He saw them getting like cornered by them, and then went,
Yeah.
"Oh, we'll just use you as like reporters for our escapades. Get get our good
They knew what
side."
they wanted.
Yeah,
They knew what they wanted.
so it was funny there. I think I don't know. I think they tried to force too much into this one.
I, I feel a little bit like that with this one.
So
Um,
maybe a 6, maybe a 7,
I'm leaning more towards 7.
mhm.
I think they dispatched Livio a little too easily.
Or have they?
Well, in that instance, at least anyway, I guess it just felt like it was over very quickly. And yeah, I think in the same sort of way as the giant sandworm episode, like it just had some pacing issues for, as you say, I felt like it could have been 2 episodes and it wasn't.
It was
Um,
2 episodes.
well, even like this part of it could
I
have been two
know.
episodes. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole thing could have been 3 parts overall. Um, like honestly, I guess like I could have seen a slower resolution to what happened with Livio, and then and like maybe a little more around Meryl and Roberto and the Bad Lads gang, like how that like what was going on there and stuff like that. But I guess like things happened quite quickly. But
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, I think a 7 is probably fair. I think that the scene with the plant at the end is really great. Like it's really good imagery and it looked awesome. I'm finding I'm less and less bothered by the fact I know this is not hand drawn in any way. Um, I think I actually do think it looks really really good.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a good looking show.
it's very, very little things out there that's hand drawn these days. They're all kind of things. There's like,
Yeah,
what was that? I stumbled on some like guys like, oh, this animation thing. Like, this goes over like all the new animations that's kind of got released onto
yeah.
YouTube. And there
Well,
was
that's
like,
cool.
what was it? There's something that's maybe like a 2D fight or some sort, but
Hmm.
actually it was all done in like a 3D Blender and just put on a 2D plane.
See, that's cool. And yeah, with the right shaders and things like that. That's which is what they're doing here. It's all playing with perspective.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not. You can still tell it's 3D model, but I think this other thing was pretty well. It's like I find Guilty Gear
Yeah,
does it very well.
it does, but that's a single fixed perspective. Part of the reason that you notice it in Trigun Stampede is because they have very dynamic camera movement. And as soon
Yeah,
as you have that, you are more aware that it's not a 2D. static asset. It's a 3D model with a shader set on it.
Yeah. But then there's also like fancier stuff in Guilty Gear where you can then go, oh wait, shit, that is 3D.
Oh, dust mode.
Yeah, they'll do some like fancy maneuver or something like a kill and it like rotates the
It's very
camera.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
very awesome.
Uh,
I meant to say, I this afternoon watched the words bubble up like soda pop again, but with the family.
oh, nice. Um,
I put it on, and the first thing my wife said was, "She's like, I don't really like the way this looks." I'm like, "Oh, that's all right."
oh,
And and that was the last complaint I got of it. So
oh well, she liked it then.
everyone enjoyed it.
It's
Like
good.
I think it's really difficult not to like that movie.
It's a good. What do we call it? Fun,
Slice of life.
fun slice of life movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well because like watching it with my son, my or well both my sons, but like my elder son who's like kind of asking a lot of questions about the behavior of the two main characters, and you're like, yeah, so like there's some commentary to this that are unique for the story. It's about people who don't deal well with other people, and maybe that's not something you feel, but it's something maybe you should be aware of. It was interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. There definitely had some social anxiety.
I did laugh as well because it got to the bit where she breaks the record, and it was just about to happen, and I remembered how irate I was when we talked about it, and my wife literally turned to me and she's like, "I cannot watch this. I feel sick." It's like, yep, that's the that. I know that feeling well because I was like, "It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen," and then I was like, "Yeah, I was so angry when that happened the first time I saw this. I was fucking furious."
Ah, well,
So funny though.
certainly married the right woman then.
Yeah. Oh, also,
Mhm.
we should say that I think at some point we should probably do it, but we might need to get to a cinema to see it. Is Suzume, the
Oh
new
yeah,
movie from the people that did Your Name?
yeah, yeah. We should. I was knowing
It
that we
looks real good.
should be. It's out now.
Yeah, I know. It looks real good.
Uh, so we probably. I think it came out. Oh God, it's been like 10 days. I think it came out 10 days ago.
Yeah, we could try and go and see that. I think that would be pretty good
Need to go and see it this week, man. I
this week. Fuck.
need to be this week.
Definitely.
I don't think it'll be on cinemas for too long. But
Mm,
then anime's kind of gone weird. It's a lot more mainstream now.
yeah. Ooh, something we should do, and of course, I know you're going to be totally jazzed about this.
Uh huh.
Uh, the Akira's coming back to the screens again.
Oh, what is 8K now in IMAX?
It's 4K IMAX now.
4K IMAX now. Jesus.
Yeah, and and like I've got it sitting there in 4K. And I'm like, I could watch it in IMAX though, and that'd be pretty cool.
And then you're just going to get the IMAX edition when it comes out. It's going to be like
Yeah,
Transformers the movie, man.
yeah. I
That's
don't even. You know what? I don't think Suzume is showing in our cinema.
uh, the cinema in Arbroath was showing it.
Really?
Yeah, when I went there the other week with Oz, I saw it on a poster. And I was like, "This is like a weird cinema to have that."
Yes, it is. Uh, Hang on a minute. Let me try this again. Oh shit!
That's what I was
No,
saying.
it's just not available.
Not available where?
Man, Odeon.
Uh, what about Cineworld?
I'll have a look.
I'm looking at
Uh
DCA because it seems to be a more of a niche thing. And
that would be more likely that it would be available there. That's for sure.
Oh, it is.
It's not available in
Oh, no, that's Your Name.
Cineworld.
You can go watch Your Name and
DCA. In DCA? That'd be cool.
DCA is you can go and watch Your Name.
Nice. And they have Suzume though, you say?
No, I just saw anime and but it's Your Name, not Suzume.
Oh, I found Suzume. Oh, cool. Suzume is not out until May
Me?
for them. Yeah, they'll get
Oh.
it late. So we could go to the evening showing on the Monday.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, it comes out on the 6th and 8th.
Yeah, we should do that. Monday, 8th of May.
Yeah, and they got a couple other ones to come out. So you got Your Name. Weathering with You.
Weathering with You. Yeah, yeah. That was also recommended to watch with the fam. But it's a 12A, so I want to watch it first before I watch it with the kids.
I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it is actually. It was one of the ones that was suggested after we finished. Um, cool.
Oh,
Okay, so we should totally do that. Um,
is that the one? Is Weathering with You the one where is the dude and he bumps into like this teacher who's off duty drinking in the park where he's skipping school himself?
orphan who has the ability to control the weather.
No, it's obviously not that then. I'm lying at my ass.
So good.
Can't
Okay,
remember what that
well
one's
we
called.
should plan to do that. We should plan to go and see Suzume and then talk about that because I think that looks real fun.
Yeah, alright.
Um, so yeah, you've done it again. You've listened to another episode of Who's That Anime, an anime podcast, which is a podcast about anime. We can be found where all good podcasts can be found, anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. As I say, you can be found on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcast. Try to think of another random one. I don't know, Amazon Music. I think we're there too. So why
Ooh,
not? Yeah.
alright.
Uh, we also have a Facebook page. That's facebook.com/who's that anime. And we can go there for when we post the latest episodes and the occasional anime meme. We have a Discord. You can find the link for that in the show notes. We also have a YouTube channel where Colin painstakingly puts together the video versions of these episodes. As he mentioned at the start of this one, this episode will go up soon, but sometime this week, a little bit late because we're recording a little bit late. Please bear with. We also like to play video games. Colin does at twitch.tv/couchfuel, and I do at twitch.tv/hailpayman. And you can basically find archives of all of the stuff on those channels on YouTube as well. If you search the channels, Hail Payman and Couch Fuel.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much there.
Yep.
Yeah. Not got much else to say. Should watch
Nope. Let's
Batman.
get. Now we should book our tickets for Suzume.
Book tickets for Suzume and Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. That too. That too. Well,
there's one where he's on the roof and he pulls like this dude up and he just goes, "Where's Hungry Dan?" or something like that. And the guy is like, "I don't know, but I'm not going to tell you anything because, you know, I don't care. You're not that scary." All right. He drops him down, brings him back up and goes, "Hammer down." It's like, nope. And then he gets like, I don't know, starts choking and saying the word, and it's like, that's the voice. And that's how Christian Bale came up with the voice.
amazing. Amazing.
Uh,
Good times.
College Humor had some good stuff.
It did.
It's don't know. I think everyone's sold out. Anyway, good times. That was it. That's the end of it. We're keeping this one short.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, same time, same place, as we say,
That's it.
but potentially not, as this one is also not that case.
We're getting there. It'll go live in like a half hour. Promise.
I mean, that's still what 3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours late. We're good. We're good.
3 hours late. Anyway,
Bye,
all right.
folks.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.